Baskin Jones here. Today I'm with Marray Harris. He is a financial planner and an advisor. And oftentimes, my clients, after a bodily injury, end up with a settlement. And the settlement is a lump sum payment, and it could be from $8,000 to $400,000. So today we thought we'd ask Marray some advice, ask him what someone in that situation should be thinking about, what to do, maybe as next steps, and what could be helpful as far as an emergency fund. Marray, if you would, just introduce yourself to my clients once again.
Like Baskin said, my name is Marray Harris. I am a financial advisor for over 5 years. I work here local in Jackson, Mississippi. Based on what Baskin just illuminated, I would definitely recommend someone who had just received a nice lump sum to think about several different ideas in terms of just overall financial wellness. Number one, like he said, I think everyone should have an emergency fund. So if that person doesn't have an emergency fund yet, I think it's wise to carve out a small portion of that investment or that lump sum for that. The next step would be looking at both their midterm, goals and dreams financially as well as long term. When I say long term, I'm talking about retirement. So between retirement and midterm goals, I think it's really wise to invest in just the market, whether that's an ETF or a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. I think all of them have different advantages, but the biggest thing is allowing your money to compound. I think that's critical versus just putting your money away in a regular checking or savings account. And once again, with the midterm and the long-term investments, the breakdown between the two would really depend on your current time horizon for retirement. If you have a longer time horizon in retirement, you may not have to put as much money in a retirement account as someone who has a shorter time horizon for retirement. So it really depends on that particular person's goals. But bottom line, a significant portion should go to long-term savings as well as midterm savings.
And how would someone get in touch with you if they had an additional question about what to do with these lump sum funds?
Great question, Baskin. They can reach me at Marray.Harris, that's Marray.Harris at Primerica.com, or they can just reach out to me on my phone number, 601-665-8714. What types of insurance do you believe that someone should carry from your perspective, just in general?
Right. Well, we see car claims that unfortunately only involve state minimum coverage. In Mississippi, that is only $25,000 per person that could be attempting to cover losses of, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you've got personal assets, if you've got property, if you've got a bank account, you would need to buy enough insurance commensurate with your potential to lose. That, if you only have a $25,000 policy and you've got $1 million worth of real property, you might have a problem if you get in a car wreck and you don't have enough insurance to cover the damage done. So, taking a look at what you have to lose and buying insurance that is commensurate with the amount of risk that you might have out there. Another thing we always tell folks to pay attention to is uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. Instead of just state minimum liability coverage, carrying this coverage makes sure that even if the other driver does not have insurance, that you and your family will be covered. And we found in cases that people have been involved in wrecks, and even their close family members' policies can apply to their wreck. So they've got a large injury. They stay at grandmother's house half of the time. we would pay attention to both mom and dad's policy, that person's own policy, and then grandma's policy, because they are living with a blood relative that could be their grandmother. So we think about these things very deeply. And when you are in this sort of situation, you do want an attorney that's going to look everywhere possible to try to find available insurance coverage.
Okay, so Baskin, I would like to understand, what should someone do if they are hurt in a car wreck?
Right. Well, there's 30 moving parts right after you've been involved in a car wreck. The main thing is making sure you get medical treatment. Even if, you come away from a car wreck and mostly feel okay, what we see often is that sometimes that's just adrenaline, that, someone could have, small things going on with them that they think, I'll sleep it off. And then they have slept it off. And what they wake up with is much different than what they expected. They wake up with, neck pain and back pain, issues that maybe they weren't expecting right after the wreck, but make perfect sense when you consider the kind of jostling that happens. And then immediately as well, being able to document what's happened at the scene of a wreck and know what an attorney that does what I do is going to need in order to build a successful claim to make to get paid by the insurance company. So it's not an easy process. It's one that I think folks are intimidated by and don't like to think about. I understand that. We don't want to believe that we'd be in a car wreck. But as soon as someone needs our help, our office is very available and able to talk someone through what your next steps might be. Even what are the best hospitals to go to, or how can I get treatment if I don't have the money to pay for each visit? We help our folks answer those questions every day.
Baskin, that sounds like you guys are providing tremendous value to your clients. If someone wanted to get in contact with you, how best would they do that?
Right. You can call or text 601 injured. That's hopefully pretty easy to remember. Or 601injured.com, or our main website at injuredinmississippi.com.
Do I need an attorney after a car wreck automatically, even if it's a small car wreck?
We find that property damage claims are undervalued in about 90% of car wreck cases, that these property damage values are surprisingly low. What happens is that folks trust early in the process that the insurance company is going to do the right thing. And insurance companies certainly are trained to do that. They promised you the world, and then 3 months into the process, when you're waiting on your check, they're hoping you're going to really need the check badly enough that you overlook the fact that it's just not enough money. The same thing goes for folks that are hurt in these wrecks, that they would promise you that, don't worry, your medical bills are going to be handled. But when you go to get additional treatment, suddenly the insurance company is saying, we don't think this treatment's related. We don't think that the treatment you just got for your neck is really the same treatment from that car wreck where you hurt your neck. Prove it to us. And so by the time folks get there, they really realize they needed an attorney the whole time. So our recommendation would be to reach out to our firm, to talk to someone about your claim, to get a feel for what treatment might be available. Oftentimes our clients are able to treat with good physicians locally without having to come out of pocket. So they're not paying for those visits. The physicians agree to be repaid later from insurance after we get paid in a settlement.
So, Baskin, I'm just curious, what happens if someone has already started the process? When would you say it's too late for someone to contact an attorney?
Well, I would say it's never too late to contact an attorney. Our consultations are always free. We're happy to talk to folks so long as they're not currently represented by another attorney. But we are happy to provide a free consultation to talk about what has happened so far. Unfortunately, some people get into a wreck and think that, I'm going to sleep it off, or, I'll be okay. And that's really the worst thing that they could do, that they don't get early medical treatment. And so the earlier someone can get to the doctor after a wreck to taken a look at, to get a feel for, my neck's hurting a little bit, but my back is having this small issue, feels like I tweaked something. That black and white record of this person showed up, they got checked out by us, and they were complaining of this neck or back issue. That 100% shows that there was an issue on that date. And that's the biggest hurdle we see. It's not that it's a non-starter. We had cases that we have won that, the person hadn't gotten medical treatment for several weeks after a wreck, and we're still able to prove that the wreck caused the injury. But that early medical treatment is pretty important. So I would say, if someone has had a claim for a long time, maybe they're in a wreck, they get checked out at the hospital, they haven't had more treatment, it's still not too late to call us and to talk about your claim.
What would you say to someone who said to you, I really need this money. I'm really feeling like I can't go to work, or I'm not able to work, and so I need to settle now. I'm feeling pressure to settle, and I don't want my credit to be ruined, but I need to be able to pay my bills, and so I want to settle. What would you say to that person?
There's two parts here. The first one being that person who is tempted to settle early, or you know, needs the money. And to that person, we would take a very close look at what is going on with your claim. But at some point, I have to have the conversation with the person of, well, we know that there's something going on in your neck. We can put our head in the sand and believe that, everything is going to get better and you're never going to have a problem with this ever again. And we can take the, $10,000 that is offered early in this claim. I wouldn't recommend it until we have some assurances that this thing going on with your neck isn't going to be neck surgery, isn't going to be a cervical fusion, in a year. If it is a cervical fusion in a year and your real claim value is $400,000 and you settle your claim today for $10,000, in my mind, that's a real problem. And I help folks think through that and get answers to those questions they need answers to before they make a good decision about what to do with their bodily injury claim. It's not the fastest way to do this. It's not the easiest way for an attorney to cash a settlement check, but it is the way that provides the most, the deepest quality service for those folks that we represent. We want to make sure we're not leaving money on the table, that we know about all the insurance policies that could apply, and that our person has gotten all the treatment that they would need in order to make a good decision about their claim. The second part of your question is about credit scores. And we see medical bills getting generated in these claims, and we know that these medical bills turn into billing, they turn into collections on billing. And that collection procedure, plenty of people are concerned about, is this going to hit my credit? Is it going to negatively affect my credit? What I would say to that person is, it is one letter that we can send to a biller to ask them to hold on to a bill and not send it to collections. We can tell them that this is subject to an insurance policy, that we are working on the claim. And if you hold on with us for some period of time, we will get back in touch with you about this bill. Usually that works. Secondly, even if a bill hits your credit score, when that bill on your credit score shows paid in full at the end, when you tell us to pay this bill from the settlement, in that instance, we often see credit score numbers going up because you had, a $3,000 medical bill and you came and you paid it in full. and your credit score likes that sort of a thing, that you had an outstanding bill, maybe it was unexpected, but you paid it off. So uh, credit scores often get they're often more scary than they need to be. So Mara, I just settled my insurance claim and I've got $10,000. What do I have to do? What could happen if I don't have a emergency? What is it? The emergency backup fund.
Well, the thing about emergency funds, Baskin, is that they're there because we don't have a crystal ball on the future. I hear a lot of smart people say either you're in an emergency, you just left an emergency, or you're probably about to go into one. So the wise money is always on assuming that something unexpected is going to happen and covering your bases. Because what happens when you don't have an emergency fund, oftentimes, is that you wind up either having to go into debt with credit cards or other things, or you wind up just being at a deficit in that area. So it's always smart to just plan for the unexpected.
That follows over into my claims that, sometimes my clients don't have an emergency fund, and as a result, they are unable to stop working after an injury. They're unable to go get medical treatment.
That's
They're
right.
afraid to. So we, try to provide resources to folks that are in this situation without an emergency fund. But certainly the clients we represent that do have an emergency fund are able to get the care they need. They're able to not scramble when the paycheck doesn't come this week. They've got some cushion to be able to help us to build the best claim we can in their personal injury claim, because they've got a little bit of cushion on their end. So yeah, we would recommend an emergency fund as well.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Perfect. Well, I think we're going to do this a lot more often. It's been a pleasure talking with you today, and I do think we will come up with more questions about financial matters, certainly from the front end for folks that have been in a car wreck, or folks that just got their settlement in and what they should look at doing. So thanks for your time today, and certainly we will look forward to the next time.
Baskin, I appreciate you thinking about me. I appreciate you actually having just the vision. So thank you for that, and I look forward to it.